So John Cena is officially a babyface. A shout out to all those people that yelled at me when he did just do that last week on SmackDown. And I said it probably wasn't a trick. It's always nice to be told that I'm a buffoon, even though it is true, but you don't need to yell it right into my face. But it does all lead to this week's episode of SmackDown, where there is no going back. So welcome, my friends, to Ups and Downs, the only wrestling review show you need, with me, Simon Miller, the bald idiot, where we are going to give the good bits and up and the bad bits are down for the SmackDown that just came out the ass of SummerSlam. I really regret saying that. Mr. Cena did kick off things as well, and my gosh, he got such a big ovation from this Montreal crowd. But he was such a babyface, he was such a goody two-shoes. It was almost amazing to me that when he was a heel, he didn't come out with like a twirly moustache and some kind of sidekick that he insulted all the time. I'll get you next time, Daddy. John also mentioned the fact that we were in Montreal, and we all know what happened here a few decades ago. And that's why WWE was always afraid to come here, because they don't know what the fans are going to do, and maybe they're going to take over the show. But John Cena understands that the fans are the show, so you may as well just bring it on. This is like, you're such a kiss-ass. He also loves all of this because, of course, it will send a message to the people at home. Oh my gosh, we should go to one of these WWE live events live for the low, low price of $600. Shouldn't have said that one. He used all of this as well because he was like, poof, man, I bet the people in the back are now absolutely going out of their minds because they don't know what's going to happen, when he just went super duper babyface. And he thanked the fans, and he basically talked about the last 6 months saying, I was just afraid to step away because I don't know if you're going to forget me. And also I want to give you my best, but what if it's not good enough? It's like, John, come here, let me give you a hug. He also talked about the fact that these dates are being knocked off the calendar, which also makes him feel funny in his tootsie toes. And again, I have to stress, the sheer 180 we have done with this is totally woefully nuts. And if John Cena wasn't getting this kind of love, I think you could criticize it more. When you watch it in the moment, damn man, it's something special when finally he started talking about Brock Lesnar. Now, of course, he's afraid of him too, but there is no universe where John Cena's going to back down from that guy, so he's ready to fight. That was it. Yep. We did hear from Brock Lesnar. Nobody mentioned why he did came back. We still have no references as to why he did go away for 2 years. Then all of a sudden, magically, Papa, I'm coming out at the end of SummerSlam. So it's basically done for a moment because WWE is obsessed with moments. That's just lame, man. Imagine any other big-time superstar came back on a WWE show, a TNA show, an AEW show. You have to have some kind of follow-up, and not just the person he did whoop going, I will take you on at some point. Especially because then John talked about the rest of the locker room and who came out to confront him. It was Logan Paul. Now, this was very good for me because I actually predicted that Logan Paul would be his first opponent. Because if you want to babyface John Cena, ain't nobody cheering Logan Paul over him. So that made me a proud panda. But as for the rest of it, down, I really think we could have done better than this. Of course, Logan Paul doesn't respect John Cena anymore because he doesn't like this guy. When John was like, I think you've just made the biggest mistake of your life. I was like, John, I think that happened in Japan. It's another one I'm going to regret. Somebody stop me. Logan then went back to that line that John Cena had said a few months ago that nobody understands WWE better than Logan Paul, and he's better at being a WWE superstar than John Cena. Now listen, Cena did call him a dumbass, which is everybody's new favorite word in wrestling in 2025. But John said, yeah, you know what, I did agree with that, and maybe it's true. We have to take that and kick it out the window. If John Cena is going to be a babyface, he can't lie to us. Nobody is more WWE than John Cena. Logan then asked for a match, and John Cena was happy to oblige to this, because that's all you have to do these days, is walk up to someone and say, ha, let's fight. When, of course, because we were in Montreal, Logan pretended that we'll do it in a French-speaking country, and he was referring to Clash in Paris, when Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul's best friend, got in the ring, and he totally murked John Cena. And why did we do this? So Cody Rhodes could run out, and now we have a superhero duper whooper tag team. Cena then basically became the general manager for the night, although we're going to talk about this, and he said, well, fine. If we have to wait for that PLE, why don't we do the tag team match right here tonight in our main event? Which means Nick Aldis must have been in the back doing a backflip. He hadn't booked a finishing match for this show, so thank goodness for Johnny. So yeah, that Brock Lesnar stuff did kind of take this down a little bit, just because that is not good storytelling, but everything else was pretty damn good because you just had so much star power in the ring. And if you're a Drew McIntyre fan, I bet you watch this, you're like, oh boy, I'm excited, and we'll get to that later. If nothing else though, John Cena was brilliant here and has kind of told me, even though I personally did enjoy the last 6 months, you can check out other videos to hear me talk about it, maybe it was a good thing we didn't turn him 10 years ago as well. Him being the corny babyface, well, he's just so damn good at it. Like, I'm a massive goofball, and I like to embrace the goofy, whereas Cena likes to embrace the corny, and because he does it with 100%, well, he is just the man. that basically love him skinning it up. For some reason, the Motor City Machine Guns then revealed to us that they're going to be taking on Solo Sikoa's MFTs after this, because Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley think this is the path back to the tag team titles. I was like, all right, well, I guess as long as you don't lose. And then they lost. The good thing about this is that Solo Sikoa had picked Tala I'm So Tall Tonga and JC Mateo to be the tag team, and especially Jeff Cobb. He needed something here, and you ain't going to get a bad match out of the Machine Guns. So I thought this was pretty decent. Of course, the Guns did some dives as well, so bam, put a 2 on the dive counter. Yes, because Tangaloa was on the outside with Solo. He made sure he did some distraction, interference, and confusion, so put a 1 on the dick board. And I hope you enjoy seeing the dick board, which is the worst sentence I'll ever say, because you're about to see it a lot. It tied into the finish as well, because of course the MFTs were all over the place, meaning when Alex Shelley went for the skull and bones, Tala Tonga was like, man, I'm so tall, I am going to boot you right in the face. When he hit a massive choke slam, I think Shelley is still up there, and he got the 1, 2, 3. So you can't be mad about that. Tala Tonga is our new boy, and he's whooping some ass. So I'm going to give that an up. I mean, we're never going to talk about it again, but once again, it was decent to use that word. When Solo Sikoa got on the microphone and said, my dudes are going to go after the tag team championship, because all we have to do is win 1 match, apparently, and they can face the Wyatts. And as for my US championship, well, nobody has the balls to fight me, so I guess I'll just be the champion forever. This is when Nick Aldis walked out, though, and he was like, ha, you're so damn wrong, because I just so happened to find somebody in the back. So I guess nobody called this dude. He was like, I'll turn up regardless. But of course, because we were in Montreal, it was Sami Zayn. This place went totally crazy. It was actually quite a nice moment, and the match was going to happen right now. And the other joy with this is the Solo Sikoa character is such an idiot in the best way possible. He could totally lose here, and everything would have been fine. And that's exactly what happened. My only big question is, where the flub was Jacob for 2? Hold that in your brain, we'll talk about it later. Once again though, the MFTs just kept getting involved in this, so it is a 1 on the dick counter, or the dick board I should say. I do not understand why WWE feels they have to rely on this in every single match. You can do anything. You're a creative endeavor. You could have an elephant come out there and just go blah. Although actually, I guess that would be distraction as well. So I suck too. I do think we have to give that a down though, because we are not done with any of this on this SmackDown. And I'll get to the other examples as we go. When Sami Zayn went for the least devastating move in all of sports entertainment, the Blue Thunder Bomb. And Solo was like, man, you ain't hitting me with that, and he reversed it. He also got the spinning Solo for a 1-2, and once again the MFTs were getting involved, so Sami Zayn did a massive dive, put a 1 on the dive counter. And ultimately after that, Sikoa was like, man, I can go for my death sum, when once again Sam reversed that. It's the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, the surprise roll up, and he got the 1-2-3. So somewhere, if there's like a WWE stereotypical fan, they would have stood there and gone, that'll do, pig, that'll do, we ticked all the boxes. Now surely this means that Sami Zayn gets a US title shot, so what brand is he even on right now? Because I'm pretty sure he's a Raw guy, I mean that thing is totally dead, but because he is a smart babyface, he ran away, he didn't want to get beaten up by the MFTs. Now of course, what are we doing in a few weeks? We do have a show in Paris, which does have a French speaking crowd, as we've already talked about, so we probably will do Sami Zayn versus Solo Sikoa there, and while it's totally random and it's totally nuts, it kind of goes back to the intro. If people are going to react this loudly to someone, how can you get mad at it? They were so damn happy, plus the match was good, give it up. We got a Wyatt 6 promo after this. I'm just going to have to read it to you, because it is so weird, because Uncle Howdy said,
they would never lead us astray, and when they speak, they only speak the truth. The SmackDown division has been woken up to their true reality, and lessons need to be learned.
So I guess they're teachers now. Maybe they'll join Chase U. The Street Profits must have heard this as well, because they bumped into DIY and these people were so mad at each other. And Tommaso Ciampa called them mother killers after what they'd done to Candice LeRae. And my gosh, she had a bruise on her leg the size of my head. Nick Aldis heard them rowing those. He walked in and made this match for next week, probably because he'd realized, oh my gosh, I didn't make any contests for this evening and it almost kicked me right in the butt. So I better do it. Although I will say, this SmackDown division is so weird. I like the fact that tag teams get to fight each other, but that is literally it. It's just, well, I'm going to fight you, because you're going to fight me, and then you're going to fight those guys, because they're there, and we got to do something. I mean, I probably could inject it with a little bit more story. Speaking of tag titles too, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair then came to the ring. Honestly, I think these two are just wonderful. Their chemistry makes me laugh out loud, I think because they're just having a bunch of fun. And given that it is Alexa Bliss's birthday tomorrow, Charlotte's like, oh man, I've got a present for you. Ta-da! And there was a cake in the ring. So straight away I rang the bookies. I was like, can I place a bet? Because someone's face is going into that thing. But Charlotte also had another gift when she gave Lily to Alexa Bliss. Because she, I suppose, in the days since SummerSlam, had gone and bought a sewing kit because she now has a stuffed toy of her own, and it is called Charlie. The WWE fans love this, they even chanted for it. It also ended with Alexa pretending that they're not friends, but Charlotte Flair being like, man, give me a hug, and once again the fans were chanting for that, when they got interrupted by Chelsea Green and her Secret Service. Now listen, I love these guys, they're totally brilliant, but once again I ask you, dear watcher, what flubbing brand are they on? They're everywhere. Green also admitted she's a proud Canadian, which is why it sickens her to see what's going on right now. Why are we cheering for these two goobers when we should be cheering about my homecoming? Flair then said she had one final gift for Chelsea, and it was an ass whooping because she wanted to do the match. Of course, Chelsea was like, I'm busy, I forgot about it. But just as she was leaving, Nick Aldis came out and said, ta-da! I've got a referee, we're doing the match right now. That's a down. That is 3 times on this show we got impromptu matches. It just goes back to what I said a few minutes ago. You can do whatever you want. And by this point, it made the show feel ridiculous. Like, I get wrestling is predetermined, but what did Nick Aldis do before this SmackDown started? He's got like an assistant who's like, oh, Nick, we don't have any matches. He was like, don't worry about it. I'm very confident some wrestlers will fall out. Down. It's the complete opposite, though, for this team between Charlotte and Alexa, because man, does it work for me. And also, the tag team champions in the women's division are finally being showcased on television. And usually after you get a title win, they just vanish. So I am going to give it an up. And again, just keep having fun, man. It's the whole point of this stupid sport to begin with. Before we did that match, though, we did cut backstage where Carmello Hayes was like, oh, I'm back on TV, thank goodness. I think I'll go for the US title when he got interrupted by The Miz. And rightfully so, Mello was like, where have you been for 2 months? And then The Miz was like, I have sorted us out a tag team match for next week. And Carmello Hayes was fine with this. Then it turned out The Miz was lying because he found Nick Aldis. He was like, man, I need a tag team match for 7 days' time. This gets her down. We haven't seen Carmello Hayes in weeks. The last time we did see him, he was getting mad at R-Truth and Damian Priest and Aleister Black. And now he's just gone back with The Miz, who I thought we had broken up. I don't get it, man. There was some really strange decisions on this week's episode of SmackDown. I just think we can do better. That's right, I've turned into your dad. When we did get Chelsea Green versus Charlotte Flair, which I did enjoy, although whoop bam, put a 1 on the dick board because Britney Spears, oops, we did it again. Although the best form of distraction or interference, I suppose, is when Chelsea was like, hey, Piper Niven and Alba Fire, why don't you get that cake? Because I'm going to do a move into it. Surely this would act like a pillow, and also, even if your face did go into that thing, you can have a lovely snack. Alexa then made sure to take out the Secret Service with the dives and put 1 on the dive counter when, yes, Green was going to do the unpretty her into the cake. Charlotte reversed it. She hit the unpretty her instead when she applied the figure 8, and Chelsea Green, who had dessert on her face, tapped out. Like, that's my type of wrestling, goofy wrestling for life. Now, I will admit I prefer if it was a tag team match because they are the tag team champions, and I don't want to go away from what these belts mean. But it was entertaining, and I suppose we can do the Secret Service as a challenger at some point. But please, for love of everything, just keep them on television. You can go back and look at the evidence. People fall off into the Phantom Zone all of the time. With Chelsea Green and her goobers, they're awesome. Charlotte and Alexa together, they're awesome. There is so much potential with all of this. Let's get it up. Tiffany Stratton was then being interviewed and she was super happy that she won at SummerSlam when Jake Cargill walked in and said, yeah, well, you know what? If your foot hadn't have fallen on the ropes at SummerSlam, I'd be the champion now. I was like, no, don't do it. We did it again. It's like those crazy people on the internet that go, this Batman game wouldn't be good if Batman wasn't in it. He's in it. Stratton then replied by saying, sure, it would be a different story, but we'd have the same ending. When she just walked off, Julia and Kiana James then walked in and went, Jade, you're never going to be the US champion. And Jade was like, yes, I will. When in walked Michin, and she then decided she is going to go for the US championship instead. So I suppose we're going to do this tag team match, but let's focus on the basics here. Can you imagine if Cody Rhodes, can you imagine if Cody Rhodes, the brand new WWE champion, that's all he'd done on this show? people would have had a meltdown, and all Tiffany did was say like 4 words. Why does she never get any feuds? When she won the thing or retained the thing at WrestleMania, it took until SummerSlam until she had a proper program, and now she's just walking in the shadows. I don't get it, man. I don't understand what we are doing or what this walk is. Let's get it down. I mean, it really did feel like somebody just went Jade meets Kiana and, hang on, Julia, and then Meechin walks in. Done. Alistair Black then had this really cool video, but he made me laugh out loud because he actually said, I have been granted the power of violence to stop a greater violence being committed. And I was like, 1, let me know how that works out when you use it as evidence in court. And also 2, you're right, nobody does talk like that. But also when you break it down, it's like the greatest metal lyric of all time.
I've been granted the power of violence to stop the play of violence being committed.
That was a thing that just happened. That was weird. When Alistair Black also told us that Damian Priest is not going to be around for a while because he does have a hairline fracture. While a lot of what he said here was total gibberish, because he's such a badass, it's also some of the coolest stuff I've ever heard. We then got a segment that pulled me sideways and threw me in the bin because John Cena and R-Truth bumped into each other backstage. And because John Cena's a good guy again, R-Truth decided he will be a good guy again. They kind of mirrored each other here. When John Cena also pretended for the last 5 months, it was Truth that had gone nuts and done terrible things, including yelling at that poor kid in Belgium. Now look, on this hand, which is the most important hand, it was really funny and it made me laugh. I just enjoy them both so much, I am giving it an up. And in my old age, I've started to realize I will take goofy wrestling over serious wrestling, but don't tell anyone that because they get mad. But on this hand, please do not tell me. That is how we're going to reintroduce R-Truth and just forget everything he has done over the last few months. He can be 2 people. A character doesn't need to be cut and dry. He can have a dark side and a good side. Star Wars taught us that. But I'm really worried that is not going to happen. Like, R-Truth can still be a goof here and there, and then go and whoop somebody's ass. Do you know who was really good at that? Kurt Angle. So while the enjoyment of it gave me an up, I know what's going to happen here, so I am going to give it a down. I've said it once, I'll say it 92 times. A lot of weird shit happened on this episode of SmackDown. We then got to our main event, which of course was John Cena and Cody Rhodes, or Jack, taking on Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre, or Lad. So you had Jack versus Lad, and honestly, it felt like a massive main event, which is why it's such a shame it ended in disqualification. Because hands up if as soon as the bell went, you went, we're not getting a proper winner here. That cannot be the way when you invest even in a predetermined sporting contest. It's not good for the brain. I'm just officially bored of non-finishes because now I just expect non-finishes, and that doesn't really work after a while. It's the equivalent of me saying, listen, guys, I've got this big secret I need to talk to you about, okay? Please sit down and please believe me and please don't give me any hate because it really did change my life. But 27 years ago, I happened to... We started with Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul, though, and of course, Drew McIntyre then got in there. And poor John Cena, he was trapped on the apron, he wasn't able to get a tag, and Cody tried, and the bad guy stopped him, so Cody tried, and the bad guy stopped him. And all of a sudden, Cody Rhodes went, whip, bam, here's your man. He got the hot tag. Once again, Montreal went now. He hit the 5 moves of doom instantly and got the AA onto Logan Paul, but of course, Drew McIntyre broke that up. And when Drew went with the Claymore, Cody was like, nope, that's not gonna happen. And he took Drew McIntyre onto the outside. When Logan Paul looked to his left, he looked to his right, and in front of the referee, he smacked John Cena right in the testicles. Already talked about it, disqualification. Down. Thankfully, we did establish a lot here because Logan Paul and John Cena did brawl to the back because they are now going to have a feud, and Drew McIntyre went absolutely crazy. He got the WWE title and he smacked Cody right in the head. Poor Cody has that all of the time. And when he had his head against Adam the announce table, McIntyre claymored him through that. It made a massive explosion. Then Drew McIntyre got all mad because finally he's in the world title picture. Now, it's totally great for him because he has deserved it. So on that basis alone, I am going to give it an up. And the main event was good just for the atmosphere alone. But I'm a bit worried this is wrong place, wrong time for Drew. I cannot believe that Cody Rhodes is going to drop the title in the next few months. But we do wait and see. Ultimately, I am just pleased for Mr. McIntyre because I'll say it again, who deserves it more than he? So this part was good and actually a very, very good end to a very strange SmackDown, but this is where I'm going to go back to Jacob for 2 and Randy Orton and throw them into my mixing bag. Where the fuck were they? Randy essentially lost at SummerSlam and Drew McIntyre was involved in that, so he should have been on the show. It's not like we took him out, and Jacob was doing moonsaults off the cage and going, oh, MFTs, you're mine. I just don't get it. I don't understand. They weren't even mentioned. They weren't even referenced. Solo Sikoa is stood there in the ring, and apparently Jacob's just having a cup of tea. That part is getting it down. I do not mind people not being on my television, but you gotta come up with a reason why. So I am gonna give this SmackDown like a thumbs 3/4. The good bits were really good, and John Cena basically owned this night, but some of it, I really need to see what WWE's plans are. Because dare I say it, sometimes it feels like they don't have a plan at all, but I still had a good time. Also worried about our truth, but I've told you my thoughts. Now you tell me yours in the comments below. Before you like the video, share the video and subscribe. Click the video on the screen, which is ups and downs for Monday Night Raw, but otherwise, have a terrific weekend. I believe there are no pay-per-views, so we are not in Kansas anymore, Toto. I'll see you soon.